Hello, everyone. This is Kripa Anand, and welcome to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Today, we are exploring the intersection of high stakes security and premium hospitality. In 2026, keeping a community safe is no longer just about physical presence, it is about specialized training, elite communication, and the strategic use of technology. Joining us today is Benjamin Tabesh, the founder and CEO of Condor Security. Since 2001, Benjamin has transformed a startup into one of Ontario's most influential security brands, specializing in luxury residential and commercial properties across the GTA. Known for integrating verbal judo in his team's DNA and winning internationally recognized luxury lifestyle awards, Benjamin is a true expert in professional development and elite service standards. So, before further ado, let's welcome this very special guest. Benjamin, welcome to the podcast. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Kripa. Thank you for Canadian SME for inviting me on this podcast today. Nice
Of
meeting everyone.
course. Now, Benjamin, you co founded Condor in 2001 with an incredibly aggressive industry dominated by massive global players, right? So let's start the conversation by understanding
Let's
how
do it.
did Condor become the bespoke underdog in a competitive global industry?
So we understood that, early on, a lot of ways in 2001, I'm going back to 2001, was a
Uh-huh.
different person back then, many years ago. But in order to survive, and as business and entrepreneurs, I'm sure you understand the success rate.
Right.
We had to, maintain both the integrity and our operational capability.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to adapt to the same standards and discipline as, some of those top giants, in the industry and those players. Now, the only difference between us and them is, we didn't have the same budgets as they did,
Right. Of course.
and the resources. So we had to find ways, be creative in order to match them, and in order to always adapt.
Mm-hmm.
We focused heavily on creating strong internal systems, processes, operational structures. This really allowed us to scale efficiently while maintaining that quality that really set us apart as that bespoke and quality focused organization. And that really propelled our organic growth,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to compete with some of these, large conglomerates that, were in business for many years, had, thousands of employees, had, so many different resources that, at that point in time, we didn't have. So we build relationships, and we continue doing that till today. Those relationships were with leading experts
Mm-hmm.
across various disciplines. We invested heavily in internal training for every aspect of our operation,
Mm-hmm.
ensuring that our team were to continuously evolve and improve. And this was really our success as the underdog, and that strategy, that way of thinking, still is today in the way that the company operates itself.
So very well articulated, firstly, Benjamin. I think learning from everyone around you and, handpicking and choosing the best of everyone is a thing that, no one is easily able to match. And focusing on niche, high quality service, it allowed you to build a level of trust that that one size fits all giants out there simply couldn't match. So that's great to know that you've made a way for yourself, and such strongly so. Moving ahead into the conversation, let's now explore how rigorous training is redefining professional security standards. So, Benjamin, how did your training philosophy evolve beyond traditional security methods? So, what's the gap that you are filling in?
Perfect. Very good question. We have a motto over here. We have experience, quality, difference, and our training philosophy really reflects that. So over the years, we had the opportunity to work alongside with many experts.
Mhm.
Those were in various fields. In fitness, in law enforcement, with first responders, with fire safety professionals, And throughout this, each of these experts, within their old fields, they all had different principles, different perspectives
Yeah.
that really helped us, shape our programs. And we learned a lot from all these experts that we surrounded ourselves. Again, we do that today, with what's up and coming as well.
Hmm.
This combined with our evolving market, and as you can relate, every market is changing. The market of last year and the market of today is
Hmm.
very different.
Right.
This really, allowed us to be able to understand, what do we need to do based on the demands and real-time client needs, based on the market needs that again are evolving, to continuously adapt our training methods, and to better prepare our teams who are ultimately there in the front line. How do we equip them? How do we keep them safe? So all the training programs that we've had and we continue to have today, they went through this rigorous evolution and adaptation to be able to be where they are today. And this is really to prepare our teams for the realities and challenge they face in the field, whether it be dealing with a fire alarm, fire
Yeah.
safety issue, which in a lot of our communities, these are high-rise communities, so you can appreciate the sensitivity to life safety. And themselves understanding how to resolve conflict. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, we live in a day that everyone wants what they want. They don't care about rules. they they want that very fast service. We sometimes have to say no, but how we do it and how we train our staff to be able to communicate is key. And so on, all the different aspects. So the training has really changed over the years to be able to reflect that. So the philosophy in our training is rooted on practical,
Hmm.
reality-based programs that are designed to develop, number one, confidence. The more times someone does something, that repetition and repetition to be able to do it, it becomes second nature.
Yeah.
And this is what we want. We want them when they're performing their task based on the training and based on how we're conducting the training. We call it raindrop techniques. The more you do it, the more you practice it, and to do it under different conditions as well. Adding that stress into it, so that when they're on site and they're dealing with those incidents, the incident is not touching them. They have
Yeah.
the ability to deal with the process. They have the ability to deal with the stresses around them.
Hmm.
When there's a fire alarm, for example, in a high-rise building, their focus is not just on the procedure. Their focus is on communicating with the residents, communicating with the firefighters, communicating, with all the different elements around them. And it's not easy. And our training programs are designed to be able to help and assist them in those very challenging environments. So,
Hmm.
again, going back, the confidence, professionalism, the communication, the decision making, and the pressure, under dealing with, performance under pressure. This is really what the programs have always evolved to be able to optimally train the staff to be able to work under pressure in very challenging environments, that whatever is thrown at them. I'll give you an example. A couple of
Hmm.
weeks ago, one of our, luxury buildings, and 4 o'clock in the morning, everything is quiet, and literally this is a white glove building.
Yeah.
Um, it's adjacent to a hotel. Um, there was the pool, massive flood, elevator shafts
Oh my
flooded.
God.
And I was very, very pleased with how our team dealt with that, and their training kicked in. They were able to secure, all the corridors. They were able to communicate with the residents, make sure everyone understood what was going on, to assist them, using the elevators, assist those that were in need,
Yeah.
getting in contact with with all the entities. So, it in the what we see, the results of what we see is really, answers this question in regards to, our training philosophy and how it goes, a little bit above how the traditional security methods have been throughout the years.
I love the passion that you speak with, Benjamin, because when communication, becomes a core operational standard, security guards transform into, true brand ambassadors for the properties that they protect, right? And it's a beautiful amalgamation of all different things coming together, when a crisis or a situation happens, because you can't control the crisis, but you can control how you deal with it. And that is exactly where you are coming in.
Thank
That's
you.
beautiful to know that. Uh, Now, Benjamin, let's look at the shift from traditional security to luxury concierge services, right? So, I'd love for you to educate our audience about how exactly do you combine luxury hospitality with modern security services? Because there is a gap, but there's also, a bridge. So, how do you fill that in?
Perfect. Very, very good question. I actually like the term they use, and we use that as well when we call about brand ambassadors. I'm gonna, segue into,
Uh-huh.
how we are the brand ambassadors for all the communities that we serve, particularly some of those communities that are looking for that, a little bit more of that top tier touch with regards to services.
Hmm.
So, traditionally, the choices in the industry were either you had that focus on enforcement, that
Yeah.
very, rough and tough tactical security look, or, you had that, very nice, soft customer service touch, which, is great. But when those challenges arose, as I explained to you in that community a couple of weeks ago,
Hmm.
you have to rise to the challenge. So what we've done, we've combined the best of these two worlds into one package. And obviously bringing in a training methodology that's able to support it. At the end of the day, it is all about how we can train our staff to be able to, in one moment, they have that, very, amazing soft skills. They're very presentable. They're very hospitable in regards to how they're welcoming and being the brand ambassadors for the communities that they serve. Many
Hmm.
of the communities that we work with, the reason why residents live there is because of that, because of the
Right.
experience that they have coming into the lobby, being greeted. Obviously there's the amenities, but really in any communities that we serve, the first thing that anyone sees is our staff. They're the face, and to be able to equip them with the training so that when things don't go right, and unfortunately, things don't always go right. There's
Right.
always going to be a situation that they have to deal with, whether it's a trespassing incident, whether it's a building mechanical issue, as I explained to you, whether it's a fire safety or emergency
Yeah.
situation, that they have the ability to be able to deal with that. So just going back to the training philosophy, the emphasis for us is simplicity, consistency, and performance. So we teach methods that, number one, they're easy to understand and
Hmm.
digest, and execute, while demanding maximal effort. So, during the training, that there's a lot of these repetition. We do them under various conditions. So there's, repetition one, you do it with, a slow way. Repetition number two, you do it fast. Repetition number three, now you add stress into it. And these are all based on scenario-based environments. So we put our staff in different scenarios. Why? Those scenarios happen. They happen on a regular basis. So when we do training, we don't just, have our team sit in a classroom and, look at a projector. No, they need to go out there. They need to practice. They need to know how to make an announcement there's a fire alarm. They need to know how to shut off the water if there's a building wide leak. They need to know how to deal with a trespasser in a building and how to communicate with them, and so on. So the repetition is what really allows us to be able to take in, an average person that's, very nice, very hospitable, and be able to allow them to deal with that. And inverse, it's someone that may have great ability to deal with emergencies, but may not have that soft skills, may not, have that refinement. So we have
Yeah.
training programs for that as well, in terms of how to hold yourself, in terms of how to present yourself, all the way from your posture, eye contact, the smiling, the not pointing your finger, to know how to communicate, with, having a very inviting body language as well. So again, just going back to how we do this. So all these programs, again, they're all built around real life situations that our teams have encountered over the
Mhm.
years, and including the customer service interactions, their emergencies, the fire alarms, the crisis response, and being able to mimic these high pressure incidents. This is what we ensure we can take this best of both worlds, put it into one package. And it's been one of our biggest selling points, that a lot of communities, prestigious communities, are coming to us, that they don't need to no longer have either one or the other. They can get it into one package.
Definitely. Indeed, it is the best of both the worlds. And Benjamin, building on what you've said, here's a special message now for all of our listeners, specifically to all the property managers and business leaders watching. In 2026, security is the first and last impression of your brand. Benjamin and the team at Condor Security have just launched their new mobile command unit and a newly renovated state of the art training facility to ensure their staff are the most prepared in the country. They've recently been honored with the internationally recognized Luxury Lifestyle Award, proving that an underdog from Toronto can set the global standard. If you are tired of the giant security firms treating your residents like a number, visit condorsecurity.ca. It's time to upgrade your security to a professional standard that values both safety and service. Coming back to you, Benjamin. Firstly, a huge congratulations for the awards. And mastering the hospitality first approach is what differentiates a premium living experience from a standard residential building out there. So, love the insights. Now, we can't have this conversation without mentioning artificial intelligence, right? Because at this point, it's not even a buzzword anymore. So, I'd love to understand from you that how is AI changing the future of security operations? And I'd love to do a little time travel with you. Imagine if I were to give you a time machine right now and we were to go 5 or 10 years into the future. What is happening with AI right now in the industry? And what do you expect will happen when you get out of the time machine as well? So go ahead and paint the picture for us.
Perfect. No, thank you. Thank you for that. So, um, we have always embraced technology. All our operational capabilities are centered around how do we leverage technology to increase the human potential. And AI has done a wonderful job with that, particularly when it comes to allowing, organizations such as ourselves to process information faster, improve operational efficiency, and really, enhance the, capability of the user.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is a but over here, and I think a lot of there's this misconception about AI replacing, the human element. We don't see that happening in the security industry.
Yeah.
And I'll explain why. We've adapted AI technology in various aspects of our business, with detection systems, with advanced systems that are able to pick up certain movements in video views that are trigger an alarm for us, and so on. However, the professional behind this technology is extremely important. The final decision-making process must always remain human. So, technology still requires that trained, that committed, that professional personnel who can, assess the situation critically and be able to direct, the operations responsibly. I don't think that will change. I think the need for the operator to have better trained operators is going to change. We see that right now, in every property that we work with. Every professional that we deploy needs to understand how to utilize technology. It's no
Mhm.
longer the pen and paper days. Everything is app-based. We use app-based all the way from, how the staff are, arriving to work, how they're filing their report, how they're, operating themselves with regards to incidents and verification and being able to report various incidents in real time. Our clients can see, what's happening in their property, via being able to see the video with notes, with information. Artificial intelligence, the future of it, where we see it going is allowing the improvement of human potential. And it's doing that today. It's doing that, for us as we speak. I think it's only going to help us to be able to continue doing that down the future. So, AI should be treated as a tool, not as a replacement of the human element. And again, to enrich the human capability, this is where I see AI really fitting in,
Mhm.
making security professionals more informed. For example, those detection systems, as opposed to someone having to manually scan video streams, the system can do it for them. Something that might take an hour right now, it might take minutes. And as well, that efficiency translates into time saving as well. So we can save our clients time, which, in a lot of ways, we can focus on a lot of other things that the staff can do as opposed to spending hours on retrieving video footage. This is a small example of how AI, has really helped us. I can
Mhm.
go on and on about AI systems.
Right.
Part of our Condor technology brand is really always seeking and looking at, softwares and technology and systems and collaboration of how we can do it. And the future that I see is, a fusion between the human element and using technology to really, provide our users, our professionals, with that tool to be able to help them do their job more effectively.
That was a very well balanced answer because, of course, with new technologies coming in, the human element is not going away, specifically in this industry, right? Benjamin, I'm loving this conversation today, and definitely I'd love for you to be back, hopefully, for an in person episode that we do the next. But for now, before we let you go, if there's one final piece of advice that you have for our listeners today, specifically for small businesses who are, competing against industry giants as well, if you could whisper one thing into their ears, what would you say and why?
All right, I will. I mean, a lot of it is a reflection of what we've done. Don't be afraid to fail. Growth, often comes through, challenges, setbacks, and learning experiences. Think in terms of systems and scalability. Build processes that and structures that allow the business to grow beyond relying just on people. I think that's important. It's something that we've done and it really helped us.
Mhm.
Surround yourself with the right people, with the right team, people with integrity, professionalism, strong character, and the willingness to continue to develop themselves. Focus on personal development. It's critical. It's tied in to professional team growth.
Yeah.
At Condor for us, continuous improvement is a core part of our culture. So if you can take that, that experience, the quality, the difference, and be different than others around you. Don't just, follow everyone in terms of how they're, what they're doing. Just as we talked about the future, I do want to talk a little bit about the vision of
Mhm.
our organization, and what, again, the theme over here is the underdog, strategy.
Right.
We perform like that today. Our vision is to continue delivering the highest level of service in our industry in the Greater Toronto area, particularly in Toronto. We aim to continue earning industry recognition, whether it's Consumer Choice Award, Top Choice Award, three best rated, Better Business Bureau, obviously the one that you mentioned. Thank you for pointing that out. The Luxury Lifestyle Award,
Mhm.
and so on. All these awards really, give us that platform that our clients can say we're doing things differently, and we can be recognized in the industry as that quality and bespoke organization. We plan on building on our capabilities, on our technologies, our service offerings to better serve our clients and adapt to our evolving industry. And I have to say that the team that we have, I don't want to be, very biased.
Yeah.
We have an amazing team that's going to propel us there. So my advice to others is, work with good people, build good teams, work with processes, and someone tells you no, don't take no for a no. Keep on going, keep on moving forward.
Beautiful. Those are some golden words. And, people are any organization's greatest assets. And this conversation today was a great reminder that your ability to train and communicate is your greatest competitive advantage as well. Benjamin, thank you so much for being here and joining us for this episode.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, that was Benjamin Tabesh from Condor Security Inc., a masterclass in competing as an underdog, the power of elite communication training, and why hospitality is the new standard for premium security in 2026. To all the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and visit canadiansme.ca for more such resources. To learn more about how we are supporting the ecosystem, please visit the Canadian SME Small Business Foundation at smbfoundation.ca. And lastly, a very special thank you to our partners, UPS and ADP, our HR partner, for their ongoing commitment to empowering SMBs across Canada. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.